don't say it.
Keep it hunted.
I keep it 100.
No, hunted.
100?
It's like 50. We got to keep it half a hunted. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that crazy fucking lady years ago.
Who the fuck are you?
What? I never told you about the lady who was like, no one's. You've heard this story.
No.
Yeah, so check it out. So years ago, I worked for a medical equipment company.
Yeah.
And was setting up a piece of equipment for this lady at her house, and she looked like fucking E.T. Like her head literally was shaped like an inverse triangle, and
just
the entire time,
long, skinny fingers, and
so back then I had even less patience than I do now.
Yeah.
No pun intended on the patient
sympathy and empathy.
Yeah. But immediately I'm like, you know how you can get a feel for most people. Sometimes it's a swing and a miss. But I like to think that initially my, that reaction that I have internally to somebody new that I've never met in my life is very much like, okay, I think I've got this guy or gal pegged. I get it. I'm proven wrong numerous times, but in this instance, as soon as she answered the door, I was like, "Oh, I've got you pegged." Not because of your triangle head, but you're cracked out on something. And so anyways, so we're going through the process, and old girl just doesn't want to hear a word that I have to say about, this piece of equipment that could be saving her life, while she sleeps. She instead, after every sentence, interrupted me. Every time. She'd be like, you know what I'm saying? And her voice would like fucking crack and like get up into this high register that Mariah Carey can hit on a
but she
song.
would hit it.
She'd be like, you know what I'm saying?
And crack glass.
And then she was telling me, and this next thing, people, suicide is not funny. There's nothing about suicide that's funny. But this was funny because she then kept
unless a clown commits suicide.
She then kept repeating to me that Dr. So-and-so, so I won't say the doctor's name, but Dr. Blank thinks I'm suicidal. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, well, I don't really have a goddamn clue what you're saying. And I don't really know how that pertains to this whole thing. But Doctor thinks I'm suicidal. You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's fucking just insane. It's one of those where you're like begging to get out of the house.
Like you kind of question reality at that point where you're like,
for sure.
You're like, am I dreaming? Did somebody slip me Somali? Like what in the fuck is going on right now? Because this can't be real.
I think everybody needs to, at least at one point in their life, how you were bringing up the whole like concept of, government assistance if you give like
like you need to give part of your life in order to get back for the rest of your life.
In order to better understand people in the wide range of people and personalities that are out there, I think everybody should take a venture into some sort of home care. Well, it doesn't even have to be home care. It can go be cleaning somebody's house, for God's sake.
Just
where
anything.
You really get a feel for how other people are, like breaking out of your own little circle.
Yeah, how other people live.
And seeing how other people live, seeing the personalities. Because there are some batshit insane people out there. And I wouldn't recommend it to women. Because that always spooks me.
You probably shouldn't send a woman by herself to some creepy old house.
Well, to any of these. And, looking back on it, I'm like, that's kind of creepy that you're just randomly
bringing up women, you're now reading my mind to what I thought. Like, did she try to grope you at all? Like, hey.
No. That only happened one time.
Hey, you want to...
That only happened one time, man. And
like, hey, let me see them balls. You know what I'm saying?
no, dude.
I won't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying?
She'd be like, I want to rock. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of rock?
I don't know. I just envisioned her hitting that high point of the.
Yeah.
I want to rock.
I want to fuck.
You.
That would be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no, the lady with the dildo in her bedside, table, that I accidentally grabbed instead of the
when you
CPAP tubing.
Yeah.
That
like, hey, look at this.
That little
held that thing up like a light in the dark night,
like fucking He-Man.
And
by the
power of your dildo,
He-Man. But as far as like a creepy situation, where there's some creepy situations, but one that, like, being cornered, happened to me only once.
By a little old lady.
No, like probably 40s, 50s. Again, this is years ago. 40s or 50s.
Cornered by a cougar
in her apartment. Who got in there and literally just dropped, not even setting anything up. It should take like 5 minutes. And
she's like got oxygen tubing and a cigarette.
Well, she knew I was coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
She knew I was coming, and I got in there and, going through the spiel, getting ready to leave, and she blocks the door.
Wow.
And, like, won't let me out.
She have on, like, a leopard print bustier.
No, she's all...
no, dude, that'd be... How could you say no?
It's all, like, ragged, and dude, it's fucking meth country.
She didn't prepare. I mean...
No,
but you know what?
Dude, but hold up.
Said if she prepared correctly for this, because she knew you were coming... If she would have prepared right, leopard print bustier, sprayed a little old Liz Taylor fire and ice on her coochie.
Oh, yeah.
And you said that you gave in. I couldn't blame you.
Liz Taylor fire and ice. Where'd you pull that out?
Whoever did fire and ice, like back in like 1992. Yeah. There was a perfume called Fire and Ice.
Oh, I believe you.
It was a cheap-ass perfume, but, dude, it got me hard.
Was it Liz Taylor or Liza Minnelli?
I don't know. Just smelling it in 1992 would get my dick hard.
Oh, really?
Oh, God.
It wouldn't give you a migraine?
I dated a couple of people who wore it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you fucking, you dirty bitch.
We're going to come back to that here in a second. But no,
dirty bitches with fire and ice.
But, dude, she had this planned because a neighbor, these were single-story apartments, and her neighbor then showed up, and she was expecting her neighbor, and they both had me.
Oh, and they wanted a little menage a trois.
Cornered in there. And it was unbelievably, like, creepy and uncomfortable.
So both of them were going to take you on.
Dude, I just, like, I was just like, oh, I got to go. And they're like,
dude,
no,
those bitches
stay.
were going to run a train on you.
No, stay. I was like, no, I got to go.
You could have had a beer, a couple 8 balls.
Yeah, it'd be great. Why not?
You know what I'm saying?
But I ended up having to almost like shoulder my way through the two of them to
it was a fight
to get to the door, and got out of there immediately. It was just like, hey, I'm not going back to this joint, man.
Do you ever look back on that and be like, you know what? I could have fucked all day long, and I kind of regret not taking them up on that.
Jeremy, let's talk about that for a second. That thought never crossed my mind.
No?
It still does not cross my mind. Because, again, we're talking about meth country.
Yeah, okay.
And clearly some, like, methed out, just like, twitchy. Yeah.
Well, what if she had condoms?
I was like, no, man.
No?
Dude, come on.
Just get your dick sucked. By two meth heads at the same time. Just like...
That thought never fucking occurred to me. And still, in retrospect, I cannot envision a scenario where...
Can't look back and be like...
No.
Had a chance.
No, I look back on that and literally I'm like, God, that was frightening.
Well, I did have a patient of mine once tell me... You ever been with a woman on oxygen? It's like, not yet. I mean, at some point in my life, that might happen, but no, not yet. And he's like, they can fuck all night.